I am heavily honored to be present in this ceremony and have the opportunity to address such a distinguished audience. And as we all know, one of the most important decisions a parental figure needs to make is about their child's education. And the decision between public schools or private schools involves a number of factors. And when it comes to this, usually parents who are particularly wealthy would consider enrolling their children to a private school instead of a public school. But why is that the case? Why are private schools the preferred choice of most wealthy parents? This is the exact subject that I'd like to talk about in my presentation. So let's first have a quick look of what private schools and public schools are and the major differences between the two. As the name implies, public schools are administered by and funded by the state or national government, and the curriculum is decided at the state or national levels, whereas private schools are funded entirely or partly by students' tuition and administered by a private body. Due to this, the school fees in private schools are usually double the expense of public schools or even higher. With the amount of money needed in order to enroll, it creates a drastic difference in numbers of student population along with infrastructure compared to public schools. Speaking of infrastructure, one of the reasons why most wealthy parents prefer private schools are the high academic standards that they have. Compared to public schools, many private schools help children receive training in parallel programs to develop both language and physical. It results to a higher graduating student body that performs better on tests, has a higher level of written, verbal, and mathematical ability, and has a more impressive school matriculation. Okay, there is an error with the presentation. The second thing is that private schools also often focus on upgrading facilities as well as study programs. Normally, the systems of study programs in private schools are quite diverse and practical. Besides, more attention is paid to practice rather than theory for students, so extracurricular activities are common. Private schools also link with foreign universities or colleges, helping students to be exposed to advanced international education, allowing them to have the opportunity to be more open to knowledge exchange. And although both private schools and public schools have excellent educators, public schools may just require state certification for teachers, while private schools may prioritize advanced degrees in the subject matter, meaning that they set teacher qualifications in education degrees, experience, certification, and background checks. And since, private schools have smaller class sizes, making it easier as a teacher to monitor and support students' learning on an individual level, allowing them to tailor their teaching styles accordingly. Not just for students, but parents and administration also experience an open channel of communication with regular parent-teacher contact, welcome parent involvement, participation in social events and fundraising campaigns, and more. In conclusion, the reasons why most wealthy parents prefer private schools are the greater range of subjects that are available, along with smaller class sizes and better sport facilities. Not only that, but the teachers are also well experienced and can help you out with your studies at times. Though the tuition can be highly out of the price range, at least you get provided with an individual-focused curriculum and extracurricular activities. After all, private schools are more likely to have a dedicated staff focused on college admissions. This is all I wanted to talk about. You have my utmost thanks for listening to this presentation. If you have any further questions, I'd be very pleased to answer them. Once again, thank you for listening to this presentation.
Xin chúc mừng em đã hoàn thành phần dự thi của mình.
Schools. Are there any aspects which you consider are not so good?
Like disadvantages?
Disadvantages or downsides of private schooling?
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you very much for your questions. And as for my answer, based on my knowledge, there are a couple things that are considered to be like disadvantages when it comes to learning in a private school. For instance, as I've mentioned in the presentation, the school fees in private schools are quite expensive, to the point where it even doubles or triple times the amount of school amount of tuition that you need to pay in public school. And aside from money, there are a couple of private schools where you need to keep up with your studies. And since the private school education is always very updated, it's very difficult for students to learn at times. And with trying to keep up with the pressure and all that, it just gives them a lot of pressure, and it just doesn't give them the higher success that teachers and parents would expect.
And second question, you mentioned physical exercise. How can that help us in academic achievement?
Well, I think this is a rather tricky question, but I'm just going to answer my best. Based on my knowledge, when it comes to learning physical exercise, like aside from trying to achieve a successful score, aside from trying to be successful, you also got to focus on your health, focus on your mental health, focus on your physical health, and that's why I'd suggest learning physical exercise in private schools.
Xin chúc mừng Thảo Chi. Bình tĩnh, tự tin và chiến thắng, đó là những gì mà gia đình, bạn bè và cả Alaska đang dành và chúc các bạn, đúng không ạ? Những cổ động viên của bạn Thảo Chi đâu rồi ạ? Cảm ơn bạn với phần dự thi đầu tiên vô cùng bùng nổ và ấn tượng.